Gachos, welcome here. About a year ago, I uploaded a video to this channel where I kind of take you guys through my period, and in that, me trying a menstrual cup for the first time. Up to that point, I was strictly a tampon person. I haven't really ever been a pad person because they're very uncomfortable. For me, I always found they were very visible and they just made me feel just kind of dirty. I just wasn't into that. But a tampon, I could still kind of go swimming with it. It felt a little more concealed, but all the same, sometimes I would have to pair a pad and a tampon because I had heavy periods where I would have to change my tampon hourly, sometimes even 2 times an hour, because it was just such a ridiculous heavy flow. Because of all that stuff, periods were annoying. They were gruesome. I did not like them, and I can't say that I enjoy them now, but they are much easier and much more pleasant to get through since using a menstrual cup. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the menstrual cup, how I use it, my favorite fold, how I clean it, did I say that? How long it works for me, price point, sterilizing it, changing it in public. We're gonna go through all of that stuff because I feel like since using this for about a year, having about 12 periods with this, I have learned a lot, I have tested a lot, and I have become a pro with the menstrual cup. Thank you very much for being here and clicking on today's video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it is very informative, and I'm really spilling everything that I know personally about the menstrual cup. But if you do have any further questions, maybe something I didn't touch on, or maybe another fellow commenter can comment and help you on, leave it down below. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop into the video. Without further ado. That's lame. Is that lame? I don't know. So good. A quick period story from me. I got my period when I was 12. I was one of the first ones in my friends group to get my period. I knew it was coming. My mom was very good at educating me and my sister about periods and how the woman's body works, probably a couple years before I even got my period. So I knew it was coming. It wasn't out of the blue, but it was annoying. As a 12-year-old girl, I was in dance, theater, I was swimming, I was doing so much stuff, and a period just, no pun intended, cramped my style. My periods were always extremely heavy. I went through a solid box or 2 of tampons every single period. A usual box has about 24 tampons. Sometimes I would go through 2 boxes. I didn't even know what a menstrual cup was until I got married to my husband Kieran, and I think pretty soon after that I just started getting pregnant, having babies, and I didn't have much of a period in between all my 3 kids. But then after having all my kids, I got my period back, and I hadn't had it in a long time, and I realized how annoying it was. B-Girl sent me their Fit Cup, which is the menstrual cup that I use. Periods have never been easier, less stinky, less annoying. I feel like my period now is just kind of like a bug on my windshield. Like, it's there, it's kind of annoying, but I can deal with it. Versus before when I used tampons, it's like someone painted my windshield black and I couldn't see anything. So my period story is very simple. I was a tampon girl, a pad girl. I spent lots of money on them. I had a lot of cramps during my periods, lots of acne. I still get that. But that's basically it. I also decided for like informative purposes to see how many tampons and pads I've kind of roughly gone through since having my period. When I was 12, I'm 25 now, so it's been 13 years. Over 5,000 tampons I have gone through. Over 5,000! And about 2,000 pads like since I've gotten my period. Do you realize how much that is? That's a lot. That's really expensive. That's a lot of crap that's going out into the world. It's not good for the environment, and I think that's really sucky. And like, it's expensive, guys. It is so expensive. Like thousands of, I've easily spent at least 2-3 grand on tampons and pads. One of the main reasons I decided to do the menstrual cup was the price tag, was the wear time, and everything else. So let me first just show you. So they're not sponsoring this video, but they were nice enough to send me 2 of these at about a year ago. I haven't used this one, and I'll probably show you this one the most because it is new, but then I have this one. So the B-Girl Fit Cup comes with this pouch, and this is where you can actually sterilize your cup inside, which is cool, and then you get your menstrual cup. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more, but first let's go into the pros of a menstrual cup. Like I said, price tag. You're paying about 30 bucks. That's the average price for a menstrual cup, which will last you years, if not forever. These things don't break down or really tear apart if you buy a good quality one, but price-wise, like, you can't beat $30. Wear time. I used to have extremely heavy periods up to like literally a month and a half ago. I've been going through this liver cleanse and my period became super light, super easy. But just for you to know, when I had a very heavy period, it would go from day 1, day 2, very heavy, probably changing my menstrual cup every 4-ish hours. And then the rest of the 3 days, once in the morning, once at night. But my past period that was so light and so easy, I just changed it throughout the whole time, once in the morning, once at night. So like the wear time is amazing. This can hold over half an ounce of fluid, and then it'll kind of start reaching those holes that help everything to kind of circulate airwise, make it easier to pull out. And then you might notice some leaking, but I mean, I don't leak with this like at all. It's amazing. The wear time, I like hardly ever have to change this. There have been a couple times where I do have to change it in public, and I'll tell you guys in a little bit how I do that. Next, and I've already said it, it's reusable and it's eco-friendly. The amount of tampons and pads that you are throwing out that just don't decompose, they're nasty and they're gross. It's a lot. It's not good for this planet. And they're also not very good for you. And that leads me to my next pro. When you are on your period, your pH and your good bacteria in your vag are very key. And a lot of that is held in your period blood. So when you put in a tampon, it's soaking all that up, and those chemicals that is in your period are not able to properly benefit that area. They soak up into the tampon and it's not very good. But when you use a menstrual cup, they can actually sit there, they can take care of that area the way that it should be taken care of, and it creates a safe chemical balance through your vag, and it's actually very good. Less odor. I used to stink. Like, I felt like everyone knew when I was on my period because I reeked when I used pads and tampons. The no odor thing really sold me on this because I'm naturally very stinky working out, when I'm walking, when I'm cooking. Like, if I fart, it's so bad. I'm a naturally very stinky person, so my period was also just very stinky. And a menstrual cup, I don't smell bad. I don't smell bad. I want to also mention a few cons because here's the thing, menstrual cup does not work for everyone. I have some friends that say it doesn't work for them. It causes a lot of cramping, it causes a lot of pain, and it doesn't work properly for them. So there are some cons here, such as yes, some people, they find it very painful. It can encourage your uterus to kind of contract and almost like, you know when you're in labor, like you maybe have never been in labor, but when you are in labor, your body knows that baby needs to come out and it is continually pushing and cramping and the muscles are moving so hard to push that baby out. The same thing can happen with some ladies when they use a menstrual cup, which means it just doesn't work for them. A lot of these ladies will go for more of a period underwear, which I think are cool. Again, they're reusable, but that's a con. It can be kind of painful. Also, it can take a little bit of time to get used to. The first couple times that I used a menstrual cup, it was hard trying to get it to fit, trying to see how it was supposed to fit. Where was it the most comfortable? Is this a good size for me? Because there are different menstrual cup sizes for different people. It's not a one size fits all. You might have to just kind of look around and see what one works best for you. Next, it is more messy. It's not something as simple as you take it out, you wrap it in toilet paper and put it in the garbage. This is something that you need to pour out, you need to clean, you need to sterilize. It's a lot more hands-on than a tampon or a pad. So it's a little more messy, but like you get used to it, you become less messy over time, and I totally think it's worth it. Also, people that are virgins can sometimes have an issue with inserting the cups. There are menstrual cups that are suited just to virgins, which I think is really, really great. But if you're kind of not used to having something like that, it can be very difficult. It can even be kind of scary. So I wanted to kind of point that out too. I want to talk to you guys about the actual cup. So this is mine. It's not a big one, it's not a small one. This is like a regular kind of size menstrual cup. I want to inform you that staining and discoloring is very normal. This is something that is sitting in your body in liquid and it's going to change the color of it. Some people have like pink or blue menstrual cups. I like the clear one because I know there isn't any color additive and I can kind of see what's going on in here better. But just so you know, it does discolor. This is one I've used for a year. Again, it's totally sterilized, no one freak out. The difference, this is a new one, this is my old one, bum bum bum. There's normal discoloration, that's totally cool. I also want to tell you guys, you do have the ability to trim off the bottom. Some people will have a shorter vag, which is normal, and it can be kind of really annoying to have something like this sticking out of it all the time. So you do have the ability to trim it quite a bit, take off the bottom. You still have these grippies here that you can pull down easily to release the period and clean this out. But if you find this kind of nub really annoying, you can take it off. It doesn't affect it at all. Also, my favorite fold, come in a little bit closer, is super simple. It's just pinching it right in the center and folding it like this. So I'll show you again. I just pinch it and then I fold it. Just like that, kind of looks like a pretzel. You can really squeeze this down. And of course, because it's so squishy and like malleable, is that the right word, malleable? I have no idea. I always say the wrong words and people make fun of me. Pretty sure it's malleable, but honestly, I'm not certain. But this isn't a hard device. This is something that's very squishy and forgiving. There are so many different folds that you can try. Just Google it. People have uploaded videos or have done blog posts of different ways you can fold it that might work best for you. Now, when I insert this, before I insert it, of course I fold it, and I am sitting on my toilet. I find it's the best way. It kind of opens that area and you're able to put this in easily. Some people do this from the back. These people are practically superheroes with like insane powers because like there's no way I can do that. Firstly, my arms are too short and I like to kind of see what I'm doing. So I do it through the front. If I'm on the toilet, I can see myself and I can put it in. And what I learned very early on is keep pushing up. I think too many times I had it too low and it felt uncomfortable. It was messing with my whole area down there and I just was not into it. And then I realized keep pushing it up right to your cervix and let it kind of suction onto it. Your cervix is literally this kind of circle shape, this kind of size, and this is going to, when you put it up and release it, it's going to suction to your vaginal wall or upwards towards your cervix. That's gonna make sure that it holds everything, that there's no leaks, and I honestly find that it works really well for me. Now, when it's suctioned and say 6 hours, 12 hours has gone by and you wanna change it, do not just take this and pull because you are pulling your cervix and everything else down and it's suctioned. It's very painful. What I like to do, I'm gonna stick my finger up, kind of release that suction tension. You can hear it go, that kind of sound, and then I pull it down. I have no pain, it's very easy, but the great thing about this is that it does suction, so it's not gonna move anywhere. Air-wise, it's really tight, and it's not gonna fall out on you. Also, sometimes when I use this, I will literally forget that I'm on my period. I will have no idea because it is suction, and you don't feel it. It is so discreet if you do it properly. Just so you know, I literally will forget I'm on my period and I don't experience any cramps with this at all. My last period since being on this liver cleanse was so light. No cramps even before being on that, like that were from this. Like it wasn't any worse than when I had a tampon. Is any of this making sense? I have no idea, but you guys feel me, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so how to empty, how to do it in public. This is my hack for you guys. Whether you're a mom or not, try to always keep some sort of like baby wipes in your purse or a tissue or something because it is very helpful in this situation. So the thing is, this holds stuff for so long, it's not very often I've ever found that I need to change it in a public restroom or at someone's house, but there has been a couple times when my period is heavier and I do have a need to empty this and kind of start out fresh. This is normal. This is something that I was recommended to do by a doctor. So say you're in like a bathroom stall, you sit down, you take out your menstrual cup, just use one hand on your menstrual cup this whole time. You will learn how to fold it with one hand. So you have one hand that's always clean and then you have another hand that is just using the menstrual cup. You're gonna pull it out, pour it into the toilet, and pee into your menstrual cup. Pee is not bad for your vag, a good cleaner, and there's nothing wrong with peeing into this, really taking out a lot of the gunk and discharge, using that same hand, folding it up and putting it back in. You have one hand that's dirty and one that's clean. So with the clean hand, you're gonna open doors. With a baby wipe, you can take a baby wipe, wipe the other hand down, don't touch anything with this hand. You've also removed any sort of discharge from your other hand with a baby wipe, go to the sink, properly wash, and you're good to go. At home, it's easier. You can just kind of pull it out, pour it, your sink is right there, really wash your hands. Do it in more than lukewarm water. I like to do very, very warm water because it is good at killing bacteria and also just removing a lot of discharge from your hands easier. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Also with the Fit Girl cup, it's nice that they have this little purple case. So in between periods, this is where I store it. And then this is also what I use, like say, I'm out and about and I know my period's coming, I'll keep this in my purse. And then if I get my period on the go, I just kind of take it out, open it, and then use it. Talking about sterilizing, I love this because this is a sterilizing little caddy, I guess, that comes with the B-Girl Fit Cup. So at the end of my period, what I do, I go in and I rinse this really well. Sometimes I will use a natural soap if I feel like I really need to clean this up. Rinse it really well, and then you put it in here and then you pour boiling water onto it. Just from my kettle, and then you let it sit. This will sterilize it, and then you pour out the water when it's all done, and then you have a nice little case that it is stored in until your next period. Sterilizing it is really, really simple, especially with this little case, and it's nicer than putting it in like a bowl that you eat out of or like another container. This one works well with boiling water, and it's nice. This is just my only thing that I have for my menstrual cup when it comes to sterilizing. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that it was informative. If you've never done the menstrual cup before, all I can say is give it a try. It's not gonna work for everyone, but there's nothing wrong with just trying it. It's not a huge investment, and it's something that I do believe every woman should at least give it a try. Thank you for being here and for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!